Hi, my name is Vivi Stutz. I am a licensed mental health counselor in Washington State, and I'm working in my virtual private practice, Phoenix Rises Counseling. I posted a video earlier about the difference between healthy and unhealthy attachment styles, and I want to go into a little bit more detail about it, such as how do we end up with an unhealthy attachment style? And the unhealthy attachment styles, they are pretty much the insecure attachment styles in relationship. So they are the avoidant attachment style, ambivalent, um, disorganized, or just generally insecure, which means I don't feel safe in relationships and I tend to have a miserable experience. So, how do we end up with this? Because, of course, we all try our best to show up in our relationships and to find the best partner. But unhealthy relationship styles, no, I got that wrong. Unhealthy attachment styles are based on early attachment trauma. So this means your caretakers were not quite equipped to meet your needs as an infant. So when a baby is born, trauma can actually start in the third trimester of pregnancy because the baby is connected, of course, to the umbilical cord to the mother. And so if there's a lot of adrenaline and cortisol running through the mother's system, it goes to the baby. And it already shapes the baby's brain development. So if the mother had a lot of stress or insecurity or chaos in her life, that affects the baby. And that affects even how they're born and how they're predisposed towards anxiety, but also possibly attachment styles. And then let's imagine that this mother, and usually the mother, since the mother is the one nursing us, sometimes it's the father with a bottle. But if the parent for some reason is unavailable, preoccupied, too stressed out, maybe working all the time, leaving the baby with a daycare center that's also overwhelmed, um, or if the parents have addiction issues or have their own emotional problems and they're just not available to tune into an infant and understand their language clearly enough, which seems incredibly difficult to me because it requires this intense attunement to a baby who can't speak and is crying a lot and is trying to say something but can't. And so if the caretaker can very sensitively understand the infant's needs, the infant doesn't know in the first year or so, they're separate from the mother. They don't even know they're their own person. And if their needs aren't tended to, growing hurts, is uncomfortable, and they have a lot of belly upset, and well, the mothers out there will be able to explain it much better than me. I was always too scared to take on that responsibility for a new person. Um, but if the caretakers are for some reason not able to take on that responsibility or take care of the infant's needs, um, that baby just learns that it's not safe to be out in this world, and it's definitely not safe to attach to other people, or it's not safe to expect that my needs will be met. Most likely people don't meet my needs. So later on, in an unhealthy attachment in a relationship, we might think, well, how can I expect this person to be sensitive towards me because nobody ever was? How can I expect this person to consider my needs? because nobody ever did, not even my parents. So unhealthy attachment or insecure attachment in relationships starts very early on. It's what we learn about relationships. We go into life with a program that this is what relationships are going to be. And we carry that around until we finish this developmental stage. And according to Erik Erikson, in developmental psychology, the first 18 months of life of an infant, the task to learn is trust. And if we don't learn trust into our caretakers and really life, because we can't tell the difference, if we don't learn trust during that time, we are going to go off in life with a sense of distrust in people, in relationships, but also in life in general, because we have that deep sense that our needs won't be recognized, won't be understood, won't be met. And I express myself, I scream, but nobody heard me. I'm never going to be heard. People won't hear me. The sense sticks with us, and we carry that around until now, until we heal it, really. So that's where unhealthy attachment comes from. That's where we might cling to a person who is really hurtful to us, and we might even know that they're hurtful to us, but we can't let go because it feels like, well, getting attention from one person is better than being completely alone, because as an infant, I know deep down, we do have these memories and we can even work with them. Deep down, I have that feeling that it's just pointless to expect people to be there for me in life. And so then we go off and we either choose partners who fit the job description, someone who's unavailable or unable to have empathy or meet our needs, or we can't do it, or we can't trust even the most trustworthy person, the kindest person. We might not be able to do that. Again, until we resolve the issues inside of ourselves that make secure attachment impossible. And just to make sure I really get the point across, so there are people we should not attach to. But if we have unhealthy attachment in relationships and insecure attachment, we're just prone to find someone just like our parents, because it's the devil we know. And it's also our experience. Like, this is what feels normal. And in order to be able with a different person, we literally need to heal that early attachment period so that we're able and ready to securely attach to someone and to tell a person to find a partner who deserves that attachment. Because of course not all people in this world do. We need to learn to tell the difference, and we need to be ready. We need to be ready for this great relationship, because it can very well be that you find the most amazing partner in the world, but if you're with them for too long, you're like, oh, I need to distance myself. It's because your attachment style is insecure, maybe ambivalent, like, well, trusting for a while, okay, but I'm going to be let down, I'm going to be disappointed, so I better back off. So again, the way we end up with unhealthy attachment styles in relationship or is based on insecure attachment, and we got that very early on in life, starting with birth, starting pre-birth, the first 18 months in life, but then also later experiences. So it's good to look at all of our childhood, what we learned about the nature of relationships, and how safe we really felt with our parents. Was there a parent we felt safe with who would hear us and understand us and validate us? Or did we just not have that? And if we did not have that, it's so worth it to seek therapy and heal that part of us that doesn't trust, that attaches to the wrong people, the people who hurt us. And we need to go back into our past and repair it. And that's possible. I love to do that with EMDR, but there are many different approaches that can work really, really well. I also like internal family systems for that. I like ego state interventions. I learned Gestalt therapy early on for self-parenting the inner child. So there are many approaches available to heal that part of you so that you can make up for the early experiences that shaped you today and how you might end up in unhealthy attachment, or why you might be wrestling an insecure attachment style. I hope this was helpful to you. Take care of yourself. You matter, and your well-being matters. And you have a right to be here on this planet. Nature doesn't make mistakes. You're here. So therefore you have a right to be here. And you do have a right for reasonable happiness in this challenging world. And relationships can give us so much support, especially during the hard times. And I wish that for you.